A year after massive farmer protests swept the nation, over 130 farmer organizations across the country are back into agitation mode. Starting today, the farmer stir will continue till 10 June. The farmers are demanding higher rates of their produce, complaining complete loan waiver, payouts to small farmers and implementation of recommendations for the Swaminathan Commission on minimum support price. The protest is supported by farmer bodies in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Punjab and Haryana. During the stir, the farmers have been asked not to sell their produce like milk and vegetables in urban areas. Farmers have planned agitation at over 30 locations along the highways in 7 states. On June 6th, Farmers Group will hold condolence meeting in Madhya Pradesh's Mandsaur, where 5 farmers were killed in police fighting during the agitation in 2017. Farmers have also called for the Bharat Bandh on June 10th.
वादा करता मैं किसान यूनियन वाला एक क्विंटल मेरे को 30-40 किलो दुध हैगा रोजाना ਦਾ मैं पर 1 लीटर भी दुध नहीं बेचूंगा ਆਪਦਾ ਨੂੰ ਘਰੇ ਵਰਤੂੰਗਾ ਦੁੱਧ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਜਾਂ ਡੈਰੀ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਮਿਲਕ ਪਲਾਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਧ मैं नहीं सप्लाई करूंगा मैं जो भी जितना भी मैं तो जो लूंगा समर्थन पूरा दूं।
हिंदुस्तान की जो भारतीय किसान यूनियन की एक विचारधारा की जथेबंदी है, उन्होंने ये फैसला किया है कि 1 जून से लेकर 10 जून तक हम बाज़ार में ना सब्जी लेके जाएंगे, ना दूध लेके जाएंगे, ना ही कोई चीज़ की ख़रीदारी करेंगे। हम अपने घर बैठ के 1 जून से 10 जून तक छुट्टियां मनाएंगे।
सरकारें हम लोगों के बारे में नहीं सोच रही, किसानों के बारे में निगलेक्ट कर रही किसानों को। ऐसी स्थिति में किसानों ने एक असहयोग का एक सांकेतिक आंदोलन शुरू किया है।
Well, in view of the farmer protest, Madhya Pradesh is on maximum alert. Shivraj Singh Chauhan government has directed all district collectors and SPs to keep an eye on the situation. In Mandsaur, the epicenter of the 2017 farmer agitation, 5 companies of reserve police force have been deployed, while 200 extra CCTV cameras have been installed at strategic locations to identify potential troublemakers. Madhya Pradesh staged flag marches in potentially volatile areas and advised farmers not to indulge in activities that could lead to a law and order situation.
बार-बार समझाई दी जा रही है, मंडी में तुराई भी हो रही है, मंडी में कोई समस्या नहीं है, बराबर उनका भुगतान भी हो रहा है और उनकी हर समस्याओं का ध्यान रखा जा रहा है। समस्या को निराकरण के लिए निरंतर प्रशासन सजग है।
असामाजिक तत्व आते हैं और हाईवे पर जाम लगाने या कोई उपद्रव करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो ट्रैफिक डाइवर्ट करके उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करने के लिए सघन चेकिंग की जा रही है।
The 10-day farmer agitation has begun from today. We are right now in Mandsaur in Madhya Pradesh, which was the epicenter of farmer agitation last year. Allegedly, 5 farmers were killed in police firing during the agitation last year. But today, the day when the farmers' agitations is to begin, the police is fully prepared to meet with any eventuality. We are right now outside the police control room in Mandsaur, where you can see the police is present, and if in case it's required to move towards any place in Mandsaur, it can do that at a short notice. As far as farmers are concerned, they have already mentioned that they want the agitation to be completely non-violent, but they will not be cooperating. They will not be ensuring that the supply of milk and vegetables is there. They will ensure that these commodities of daily usage do not move from villages to cities, and that is how they will be carrying their agitation this year. We have spoken with several farmers and they were really agitated about the non-implementation of Swaminathan Commission report, about them not being provided with the minimum support price for their crops, for the compensation for damaged crops, and their other demands which they believe the Shivraj Singh Chauhan government in Madhya Pradesh has completely failed in meeting. And that is why they mentioned that they will go ahead with their agitation and ensure that the supply of commodities of daily usage is completely in a way not happening from the villages, and that is how they will be registering their protest against the government not meeting with their demands. With camera person Nikhil and Akash, Devankur Vadhavan in Mandsaur in Madhya Pradesh, India Today.
Well, this is our top focus of the burning question on this Friday morning. No lessons learned from last year stirred, no substance in government's pro-farmer promises. The government keeps coming out with these massive ads, but are the farmers satisfied with what the government is doing? Madhya Pradesh farmer stir puts the government not only in the state but at the centre also on the test. And after by-polls, can the BJP pass the farmer test? Let's quickly go across to Sunita Aaron, resident editor of Hindustan Times. We are also being joined by Ajit Jha at Research India Today. We'll be joined by Gopal Agarwal, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And let me first come to you, in fact, Gopal Agarwal. The government has got posters plastered everywhere that it is the government of the farmers. The Prime Minister comes out, he says Mudra Yojana, he talks about farm loan waiver, he talks about so many schemes for the farmer. Why is it that the farmer is still unhappy?
It is because of a legacy issue. Lot of people, our 60% of the population is involved in agriculture. But the government has recognized their problem, and it was the Swaminathan committee was the landmark initiative given by Mr. Swaminathan for farmers' distress, and he had suggested three things. First and foremost was increasing the MSP to 1.5 times the cost of production. That government has already accepted. Modi ji has said that even Kharif crop from this month in June, farmers will get their MSP of 1.5 times.
Sir, don't mislead the viewers, sir. Gopal Agarwal, don't mislead the viewers. You have not accepted it. There is still confusion in component C. You are only doing A plus B. You are not putting the C as a part of the input that the farmer is putting. I mean, that is something that the farmers have also been contesting. Let's not mislead our viewers. Yes, there are certain steps being taken, but the farmers are still not happy.
No, I'm not confusing. No, I am telling you, I am telling you with firmness that we are giving 1.5 times the MSP.
Sir, the formula for this MSP is still contested by the farmers.
And it includes all cost, input cost.
All right.
No, but the
okay. You made your point, Gopal Agarwal. You know, if the government, Ajit Jha, if the government is doing everything that they can, why is it that the farmers are forced to take to the streets once again? The Prime Minister spoke about the Ganna farmers of Western UP only a day before the elections in Kairana. Why is it that the farmer issues are only election issues and they are not dealt with when the government is functioning? It's been 4 years. Can the BJP government put this on legacy and get away?
Ankit, first of all, Gopal Agarwal is incorrect. The Swaminathan Commission says that the payment to the farmers should be 50% more than the comprehensive cost, which is the C2 cost. And farmers have been demanding that all the time. The budget came out with the solution that they would be given what they call A2 plus FL assessment of the minimum support price, which is 50% less than the C2 cost, the comprehensive cost. So there is a 50% lower price that the government has promised compared to what the farmers are asking. Number one. Number two, the market volatility and price volatility is so high that people are still producing things like vegetables, tomatoes, and most of them they sell at a very, very low price in the market. So the farmers just don't get compensated.
Yes.
In Madhya Pradesh, they tried something called Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana for 1 year. But even that has been stalled by the Niti Aayog because they are going to have a debate right now between Ramesh Chand and Rajiv Kumar of the Niti Aayog, which is the correct way of the payment, the Telangana formula or the Madhya Pradesh formula.
Right.
The government has promised for 25 commodities. But the procurement is not in place. In most states, people are not even getting the ordinary MSP. Forget 50%, forget the comprehensive cost.
Absolutely.
So the situation on the ground is exactly the opposite of what the government claims in its various plans.
Right, and let me, Ajit, let's also get in a word from Sunita. And Sunita, the farmer issue, is something that the Modi government has more or less failed to address. The anger persists every 6 months, 1 year. We are seeing this massive agitation. They might or may not be turning into vote against Prime Minister Narendra Modi as of now. But the fact is, for Shivraj Singh Chauhan, there has been an increase in the farmer suicide from 2013, about 21%. Mandsaur is being seen as the high-handedness, an example of high-handedness by the government when it comes to the farmer issues. The government says it is pro-farmer. On the ground, the situation is absolutely different.
Ankit, we saw it in Kirana, where the slogan that was raised was Jinnah and Ganna. The point is that the promises that are made to the farmers and what they get at the end, there is a huge gap between it. The dreams that are shown to them and the reality is again very different. If you see it from day one, farmers expected some money in their banks, they expected better price for the produce. I'm talking from a very layman's point of view. But what have they got? Their life has not improved, the quality of life has not improved. So somewhere when it comes to elections and all, that resentment comes out. And we saw it in West UP. It was an opposition alliance and it was also sugarcane payments. Now the government says that we had done more than what the earlier governments had done, but this time the production was high. But the perception is not that. Perception is that the cane farmers are very, very unhappy. So besides opposition alliance that happened, it was also the cane issue that was raked up there.
Cane was an important issue, and Gopal Agarwal, that is why I'm saying, rather than coming onto the television studios and claiming that everything is okay, shouldn't the government be introspecting a little bit? The formula that you are talking about, Ajit very clearly put this out, that you are not giving the cost, the MSP cost at the formula which has been given by the Swaminathan Commission. Why are you trying to mislead the farmer?
And the thing is that Niti Aayog doesn't decide the input cost. It is the CACP organization where representatives of farmers and other, it's a independent organization which decides the input cost, and that formula by Swaminathan committee is already with them. Government has agreed that we will give you C2 plus 50%. So it is now the CACP will decide the farmer. It's a fluctuating commodity and every year that is decided, and it is not the Niti Aayog, one thing. And second, Niti Aayog only decide the mechanism to give to the farmers the price which has been decided. There are several schemes which we are working. It is a work in progress. We don't say that everything is good now for farmers. Their life is in trouble. They are need more hand-holding. Government is doing. The Swaminathan committee came in 2011. Now Congress is magnanimous, so magnanimous. They should have implemented in 2011.
Congress did not implement it, Gopal Agarwal. Gopal Agarwal, Congress did not implement it. Congress did not do anything for the farmers. That is why they are cooling their heels as the opposition. You are the government. The Prime Minister said, I will do everything for the farmers. If you can't keep blaming, it's been 4.5 years for your government, and you can't keep blaming the previous governments for this.
No, we are not blaming it. No, I started with what we have done. We have tackled the insurance problem, loss of farm produce in variation of monsoons, etc. That insurance scheme is also taken care of. Direct benefit transfer is being done to their bank account. Bhavantar is being looked into to implement it. You see the amount of procurement that is increased in Rabi crop also. 28 commodities are already under the MSP formula of 1.5 times, and Kharif Kharif fasal will come in June.
Gopal Agarwal, stay on with me. Stay on with me.
You say that when I'm saying you on a channel that we are giving C2 plus.
You are saying it on the channel. It is not happening on the ground. The Home Minister, Gopal Agarwal, why don't you show me a document? Now again you are saying this. Your document, you don't. The Home Minister just recently to a question on this cause has said that the government is looking into it. You have not yet come out and given that. The Home Minister himself said we are looking into it. You are claiming that we are already giving by C2. Gopal Agarwal, get your facts right. Let me go across to my colleagues Devankur Vadhavan and Hemendra, who are joining me from Hemendra is joining us from Bangrasia, and Devankur from the epicenter of the 2013 farmer protest in Mandsaur. Devankur, what is the situation there? It's the first anniversary, a lot of tension. We have been told that the police has been deployed in a massive fashion to ensure that there is no repeat.
Well, Ankit, there is massive police presence. The police is on the tenterhooks. They believe that the situation may, they're keeping a tight vigil on the situation right now. And I was speaking with the local superintendent of police, and he was mentioning that although the situation is under control right now, but deployment in any part of Mandsaur can happen at a short notice. As far as the farmers are concerned, I've spoken with several of them. They mentioned that they would want to keep the protests peaceful this year. They have mentioned that they will not indulge in any kind of violence. It will be non-violent protest, and how they will be carrying it forward is by ensuring that milk, vegetables, other essential commodities of daily usage does not go from villages to cities, and that is how they believe that they will be registering their protest. As far as the Shivraj Singh Chauhan government is concerned, this is an election year in Madhya Pradesh, in also other parts of India like Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. This is going to be an election year, and several of the farmers that I have spoken to, Ankit, personally, they have mentioned that this will be a crucial issue. Their demands have fallen on deaf ears. The demands like implementation of Swaminathan Commission report, the demand for the minimum support price has just not happened, and they will ensure that this does translate into their grievances, does have an electoral effect on the political parties that will be contesting this year. They have also mentioned that whenever they go to the mandis, the local mandis with their produce, they just do not get the right price for their produce. So either they have to sell it at an abysmally low price to the middlemen, to the brokers,
yes,
or they're left with no other option other than going back with their produce. So that is the kind of trauma, the kind of distress that the farmers in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and other parts of the country are going through, and they believe that the BJP governments in states after states have just not adhered or heeded to their protests that have happened time and again.
Hemendra, let me come to you as well. Hemendra is joining us from Bangrasia. Hemendra, for Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and we have seen in Madhya Pradesh right now posters, wall-to-wall posters of Shivraj Singh Chauhan only speaking about what the government has done for the farmers. One fact is very clear. If there is going to be a change in Madhya Pradesh, possibly Shivraj Singh Chauhan understand it is coming from the farmers who he himself called a son of a farmer.
Well, Shivraj Singh Chauhan himself calls himself a son of a farmer, and he said that he's shouting from all the walls of what he has done for the farmers. But at the end of the day, the farmers have not got the cost of their input costs that they have put into the farming throughout the year. And it is because of this that the farmers for the second consecutive year have announced this blockade, 10-day blockade. Last year also it happened from June 1 to June 10. This year also it happened has been announced from June 1 to 10. Last year there was violence, protests, and as a result there was police firing in Mandsaur, in which 5 farmers were killed in police firing. This year that doesn't happen. To ensure that, the government has asked all the district collectors and SPs to maintain a strict vigil. Police, as you can see in Bangrasia, they are on high alert, patrolling the village streets. This is happening for the first time probably, that village streets are also being patrolled. With me are senior police officers. Mr. Yadav, आप बताइए क्या-क्या इंतजाम किए गए हैं ये आंदोलन को ध्यान में रखते हुए?
सबसे पहले सुरक्षा व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए पुलिस पार्टी, पेट्रोलिंग, फिक्स पिकेट, मिसरोद रेलवे स्टेशन, 11 मील, शमरदा, देन बंगरसिया, हम लोग लगातार भ्रमण कर रहे हैं, पेट्रोलिंग कर रहे हैं और फिक्स पिकेट हैं। अगर कुछ भी ऐसे ही मतलब पिछले साल की तरह से कुछ होता है तो उसके इंतजाम किए गए कि दोबारा ऐसी घटनाएं न हो।
सर, कुछ आई है खबर, आई है कोई कहीं?
अभी तक ऐसा कोई खबर नहीं है। सारी व्यवस्थाएं प्रशासन स्तर पर अधिकारियों द्वारा की गई है और उस मुस्तैद है पुलिस बल।
किसानों से भी
हाँ, किसानों से वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों द्वारा चर्चा की गई, समिति समिति उसमें मीटिंग ली गई थी उन लोगों को तब बुलाकर, सारी चीजें थी ऐसा।
So there you see police on high alert, meetings are being held with farmer leaders. They are trying to convince farmers that they should not force anyone to destroy their produce on streets, as farmers have threatened, saying that they would not like to sell their produce in markets.
Right, Hemendra, Devankur, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. I'm going to come back to you through the day. Of course, we'll be going back to our colleagues to get a sense from the ground, because remember, this was a massive protest. And Sunita, if I can come to you very quickly, especially let's just talk about Madhya Pradesh, because Shivraj Singh Chauhan, third term, he is seeking a re-election. I mean, he will be facing the election later this year. he understands that the farmer protest, the farmer anger could be a game changer. Why is it that the farmers, usually are not seen voting together on farmers' issues? Are the governments or the political parties insensitive to their demand because they don't vote en masse for their, agriculture issues rather than being divided into caste and other subjects when they go out and vote?
Ankit, if you look at all the voting blocks, none of them, women don't they don't cast their vote on women issues, farmers don't do it on farmers issue, because when they go to the polling booth, they caste becomes a very important factor. Now we have the government looking into what Bihar government and UP government at one stage had done, quota within quota. So it is a move to divide the backward block. Now the moment you do it and the aspirations are risen, okay, my child can get a job in the government because of the quota within quota policy. So Yadavs, if they have taken over the major share of the quota, then the other lower caste will think, okay, now I can also get that. So it's more of to do with aspirations. Now it is not only the farmers produce price, I think there are other issues connected to it.
Yes.
When Modi ji came to power in 2014, he showed India where aspirations, he raised the aspirations of the people, including farmers. Now farmers, this second generation is not necessarily doing work in the field. They are looking at jobs. Now some of them may be working as labor class. Where is the work right now? Well, everybody knows that the labor market is not getting work right now.
Right.
Where are the jobs that they were looking at? So there are a lot of issues that go together, and caste at the end of the day, caste and religion plays a very important role in UP at least, where you have caste, you have identity politics, you can put it like that.
Right. So more than the issues of the farmers, the political parties rather divide them into castes and communities so that they don't have to tackle with the farmer anger when it comes to votes. In fact, I'm slipping into a very short break. Farmers, children of lesser God in India. Why is it that despite so much talk about the farmer issues, the farmers continue to face not only the problems as far as drought, as far as rains and other natural phenomena are concerned, also of the apathy of successive governments? Rahul Srivastava, National Affairs Editor, also with us here on the broadcast. Rahul, for the last 4 years, the patience of the farmer seems to be now running out right in the end of Prime Minister Modi's government's term. They have been waiting. Prime Minister Modi made a lot of promises. In fact, his last budget was called a farmer's budget. Despite that, there is massive anger on the ground. Look what is happening in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, so many states together on strike today.
Okay, what we can say is that the last 4 years, the government has tried. But the attempts by the government or the respective state governments, they lack that last minute, last mile push as far as the farmers are concerned. Or they have basic inherent lacunae in them that when it actually gets to the ground, they falter. Say, for example, if you see Mandsaur protests, last year we saw ugly scenes, farmers lost their lives, there were violent protests. After that, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan launched something called a Bhavantar scheme.
That's right.
Now, this Bhavantar scheme was a good and well-intended scheme that in case there is a difference between what the farmer is getting, he should get compensated. But it is on the ground, it has faltered terribly. Faltered so much so that the same middlemen who used to benefit from by not giving adequate prices to the farmers are today becoming the first beneficiaries of the Bhavantar scheme also. In that scenario, an unrest driven by political parties, definitely, and why shouldn't they? It's a great opportunity. Farmers compose one of the largest segments of voters in Rajasthan as well as Madhya Pradesh, which will be going to elections very soon in this year itself, at a time when today we can talk about the fact that political parties are coming together in Uttar Pradesh. We have seen that the coming together of political parties in UP has hurt the BJP. What if the BSP, Congress and Samajwadi Party come together in Madhya Pradesh? That will be real trouble with the core voters like farmers unhappy with the BJP.
But Ajit, this is the question that I was asking Sunita as well. The problem is that farmers usually have not voted en bloc en masse on agricultural issues. I mean, the political parties find it easy to divide them on the caste lines, and then the voting on the farmer issue is deferred. I mean, even for the farmers, the problem is that they don't go out and make their vote count only on the issues that matter to them.
See, Ankit, farmers are like ordinary citizens, right? Ordinary citizens are divided in their political affiliation. So it's the same thing with farmers. You're right. They don't, in the past, they have not organized themselves into one pan-India party. But last year in Mandsaur, when the firing took place, they actually 156 organizations got together and they formed something called the Farmer Sansad, the Farmer Parliament, and they were protesting in Delhi. And this is in a way a symbolic protest. Let me put the whole thing into a little perspective. One reason why the NDA government, which has actually done quite a lot of initiatives in this regard, is facing the wrath of farmers, is because between 2014 and 2016, you had back-to-back droughts. This was an unusual situation because of which agricultural growth rates became negative for the first time after several years. In the third year, because of a good monsoon, partially the agricultural growth rate picked up. But if you look at the CSO estimates for the fourth year, again it's down to about 2.1%. So agricultural growth rates in the last 4 years have been unusually not sluggish. As a result, you know, all the initiatives taken by the government have not penetrated into the ground. Paradoxically, Madhya Pradesh is one state which has done the most in terms of agriculture. Madhya Pradesh agriculture has one of the highest growth rates, yet the entire anger of the farmers kind of concentrated in Mandsaur last year.
But the fact also is that across the country, Rahul, coming on this very quickly, I'll also go to Sunita after this. The fact is that though Madhya Pradesh claims to have done a lot for the farmers, overall, if you see the farmer suicide across the country have gone down by 10%. In Madhya Pradesh, it has gone up by 21%. It is number 3 state as far as the farmer distress and people, those who are killing themselves related to the agriculture sector is concerned.
Ankit, multiple points here. You're absolutely right that what is happening in a place like Madhya Pradesh, and if you see Mandsaur last time around, the protests which happened in Maharashtra, Nashik belt, these are not the subsistence farmers who are protesting. These are not the subsistence farmers who are committing suicide. What is happening that in an aspirational India, a new segment of farming middle class is emerging. This farming middle class has aspirations. Last time around, the protests were happening because of demonetization. Farmers were not getting their money.
Yes.
So they were protests. Now farmers are not getting the dues because of middlemen or a lot of crisis. What Ajit was saying, I'll add to that point. There is when we say that farmers don't actually get together, but farmers do manifest. If you just go to the results yesterday,
yes,
the BJP has lost a lot of Jat vote in Kairana. It is not just because there was a great sense of polarization because Mr. Ajit Singh got somebody a ticket. The fact is that farmers were unhappy at the fact that they were not getting their sugarcane dues back. Now, what is the crisis here? What could the government do? The government has done a lot, yes, but it has to act as a bridge between the sugar industrialist and the sugarcane farmer. Sugar industries are not giving the money to the farmers. Now, in that scenario, whose duty is it? So, you may create schemes and policies, but they have to be effective on the ground policies.
Sunita, you know, and that brings to the other question in my mind. While the Prime Minister tried, it's not that the BJP or the Prime Minister does not understand this, because the Bagpat rally was a prime example of the Prime Minister understanding before that election that it is going to be Ganna in the end that possibly is going to cost him the election, and he tried to address that when he in fact spoke in that rally. Despite that, when the Prime Minister speaks on his Namo app, he talks about, you know, giving farmers these suggestions of what should they sow and how they should go ahead and different crops and all, but that is not being translated on the ground.
Ankit, the problem is not only translation of it on the ground level, but it is also that loan waiver. Let's take the loan waiver scheme. Now, they have already waived off loan up to 22,000 crores. But even today, about 11 lakh farmers are very unhappy. They've registered their complaints with the government. Now, none of the schemes reach their tail end. That is the problem. They came up with Jan Dhan scheme. They came with insurance scheme with the banks and all that. What happened to that? How many farmers could actually avail benefit? So I personally feel that most of the schemes may be very ambitious. They may be very nice schemes, but they do not reach their tail end, and the farmers at the end of the day do not get any relief. Look at Bundelkhand, which is like Vidarbha of Maharashtra. what is happening there? So many prime ministers have come, so many chief ministers have come, they've come up with packages and everything, but the situation has not changed.
Yes.
So there is a whole lot of gap between their promises. That's what I feel.
You know, Gopal Agarwal, isn't it time, and a lot of farmer groups are saying that why can't we have a special session only dedicated for the needs of the farmer? In the end, at the end of the day, it is the farmers which produce the food that me and you get on our table. If the Annadata is not happy, then how, in what face will the Prime Minister go in 2019? It can't be an election of the farmers' anger versus Prime Minister Modi. That is something the BJP will have to watch out for.
Definitely, we understand the farmers' distress is an important issue for which the 2019 voting pattern will be, and that's very important. And I think the problems of the farmer community is well within the knowledge of the government, and the government is resolving that. The issue is not only how to, the implementation of some of the issues, like even if you declare MSP, how the procurement will be done and how the farmers will get out of the clutches of the APMC. Those are some of the issues where the roadmap is slightly takes a little more time, and the farmers will have to be more aware about the government schemes, educate about them. They are at present being given facility with regard to credit, with regard to soil health card, with regard to this farm loans waiver, and with regard to MSP. But the issue,
Gopal, we keep hearing about these. If
like
your schemes are working on the ground, the farmers would know about it.
Which are
they possibly are not, and that is what the problem is. In the end, Rahul, very quickly, just sum it up for us. Sum it up for us. Ultimately, is this year, is the last year of Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Will the BJP be able to get away by saying that these are legacy problems? Will the BJP be able to go to the farmers and saying we have done enough, possibly the schemes are not reaching you? The question they will ask, you knew all these things. It's not that you did not know. Why is it that you are making these excuses?
Ankit, I think what happens that usually whenever there was, as Ajit said, there was a farm crisis in terms of a drought, the rainfall was scanty. For 2 years of the BJP rule, everything was taking a hit. But I think that's the best time to start planning for good times. The government could have done a lot. The government got trapped in releasing a lot of schemes. Grand schemes always do have a huge problem how to implement them on the ground in a complex nation like India, where governments have to depend, central governments have to depend on states. Now the point is that had the BJP government at the center tried to implement what was existing on the paper better, things could have been better.
Yes.
What does the farmer want? He wants, see, things have been done as far as seeds and fertilizer and urea is concerned. The farmers are happy about it. But the biggest concern is that the costs of agriculture are going up. Are they getting returns? Government is yet to come up with a package on return. One quick point, the government could have included what is being talked about in GST as far as the sugar cess is concerned.
Yes.
It would have helped the farmers.
Yes.
Why indecision? It has been now 2 months it is being talked about.
Okay.
Why hasn't it been done?
All these questions and much more, of course, will be asked every single day till the time the farmer does not get its due. Thank you so much to all my guests, Sunita Aryan, Ajit Jha, Gopal Agarwal and Rahul Srivastava, National Affairs Editor India Today, for joining me on the broadcast. We are slipping into a very short break.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.